This is a narrated version and a more extended version than I usually create of the creation of a heartful pet portrait charm. So I've done pet portraits for quite a while. I started out doing them with Sharpies and watercolor. Lately, I have migrated to some other brush pens because Sharpies, just the tips weren't as flexible, and I was having to do a lot of extra work, and I was trying to streamline my process. For the Shrinky Dink charms, I use a permanent black pen as well as colored pencils, and I've been using Prismacolor colored pencils. They are soft and velvety and just really work well with this medium. The idea for the Heartful Pet Portrait charms came because while artwork is great and it's nice to hang on the wall, etc., or put on apparel, I found that being able to wear a charm made just for you with your pet's likeness allows my clients to literally keep their pet close to their heart. And I find that this means so much to my clients. It especially means a lot when my clients' pets have passed, have crossed over the rainbow bridge, as they say. And I have found that these charms really assist in healing from that loss, that great sense of loss that most of us tend to experience when we've lost a loved one, and that tends to include our pets. Because pets really embody unconditional love and support, that the loss of their presence in our daily lives becomes quite a traumatic experience in many cases. So you'll see here, you'll probably notice that I keep moving over because the sun kept creeping in and encroaching on the right side of the recording. So a few times I stopped the video and then moved further over to the left, moved my table over, and then restarted the video. So if you happen to notice the sun coming and going, that is why. So there you see, I just had to move my artwork over again. This is sped up quite a bit. When I make my marks, I make each mark deliberately. So I really take my time to look at the photo that my clients have provided me with and then make in the moment marks, but each mark is carefully considered. So it's not just a sketch, it really is a drawing, and I really enjoy that kind of process without having to make lots of sketch iterations, etc., and then tracing and transferring for the final artwork. I really find that my process is most enjoyable when I'm creating in the moment. So when there's not a whole lot of planning and strategizing, but when it really becomes pure because I am responding to the energy and to the marks that feel most natural in any given moment. I draw freehand, kind of a circle around the pet. Then I end up cutting that out of the shrink plastic once it is colored with the colored pencils, as you see me begin here. And then I usually use a hole punch or an X-Acto knife to cut a slot out at the top of the artwork, and then after I bake it, that becomes the place where I put the jump ring so that I can hang the artwork from a necklace chain. Most of the time I do provide my clients with a necklace chain. Sometimes they tell me that they want to use their own chain, or they already have another chain, or sometimes they want to use leather cord or something like that. I have a couple clients who actually requested that I cut my holes out on either side of the pet so that we could tie a leather cord on either side, and then they could wear it around their neck that way. You'll see me kind of making different layers with my colored pencils. This process is also very intuitive. So I have my big plastic bin of colored pencils over to the right side of me, and anytime you see me pause, it's actually a much longer pause again because this is super sped up, but I'm kind of sorting through my colored pencils to see which ones jump out at me. The white colored pencil is the most used, especially in older pets like this one. This guy's name was Shaq, and he recently crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, which is sad. This particular portrait charm is actually being created as a gift for my client because she's a long-term graphic and logo design client, and I really felt like I wanted to reach out with a personal token of my condolences and console her in the way that I can through my artwork. So you'll see me now adding some brown colored pencil over the kind of orange base that I started with. The grayish color is a slate gray, and then I also come in for the darker sections with kind of a dark cherry color. And it seems a little bit odd probably for a dog when the dog has some black spots, but I find using the darker colors and a variety of shades really gives more depth to the piece. And I come back in over the top with my white colored pencil, so you can see I've added some additional highlights. I do find that it does matter what order I place the colored pencils on the shrink plastic, because the opposite side is shiny and transparent, and so if I place a certain color down first, that color will be the predominant color that is seen from the other side. So I do try to make my layers light enough that I can blend so that it's not a completely different composition on one side versus the other side. My clients really vary in terms of what they prefer, but everybody seems to be really pleased with these, and I absolutely love creating them.